today's episode, we are actually now doing part 2 in Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Body.
Change your reality.
Change your reality as well.
And welcome back again, everyone, for part 2. Change your thoughts.
Change your reality.
Change your reality. Welcome back, everyone.
I like that. Change your thoughts, change your reality.
Yes, I do too.
Should we do a recap of part 1 just quickly?
Yeah, just do a quick recap.
In part 1, we were discussing or are discussing the book that Jayson has owned for many years.
Many years.
Many years. It is called The Body is the Barometer of the Soul, and it is from the author Annette Noontil. On the back, she has written, "Changing your thoughts to change your body is the simple way this book shows you. Being in control of your health is easy when you know what thoughts you need to change. If you want to understand about attracting sickness, this is the book for you." And we have gone through a few examples in part 1, and it really comes down to actually self-empowerment of realizing your own thoughts create your reality.
Yeah, and the traumas that's played out in your life, and what still continues to play out on levels, and how you can change it, fix it, heal it, and then the outcome is to move forward, move on, to be the better or best version of you possible.
That comes out through your body. So this book is actually explaining different situations that your body may actually be showing you and
talking to you, really.
Or talking to you. And this book will give you a different perception on what maybe you need to understand within yourself.
Or what you need to look at.
Yeah. So anything you want to add before we continue?
I really enjoyed part 1.
Yes, so did I.
Yeah, and also putting our spin and our experiences on top of this as well, which makes it, I feel, more easy to understand on a level, because we're sharing our experiences with this book as well. So people can have a different understanding in not just theory but in experience.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed part 1 as well.
And I'm learning all over it again.
That is true. That is very true. You have a tag here in the book in regards to eyes. Eyes being what they say, the window to the soul and things along those lines. So for eyes, not recognizing your time so that you can live in the present always. So anything that is going on with your eyes, it could just be like eye irritation or, fuzziness or something like that. Not recognizing your time so that you can live in the present always. And there are different concepts, some for left, some for right.
Can I go into my perception about eyes too for a little bit?
Yes, of course. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, so when you're having problems, say, seeing, or your problem with your eyes, it can also represent what you do not want to see, and or what do you need to see that you are not wanting to see.
Yep.
And sometimes dermatitis in the eyes, or not dermatitis, what do you call that thing?
Conjunctivitis?
Conjunctivitis. That can also represent, my understanding is, angry eyes. So angry about something, or angry that you've seen something that's made you angry. So that's another interesting thing about eyes as well. That's
a good one, because one of my customers, I think, had conjunctivitis in both eyes.
Yeah.
And he looks like an angry bugger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if he actually is, but his face looks like he's an angry bugger.
So maybe there's a lot of anger within him that he doesn't know how to deal with, just keeps on putting under the carpet, if that's true.
That's if it's true,
because a lot of people out there, my understanding is that people are angry, and you get angry because things aren't working out the way you would like them to work out, so you get frustrated, more so with yourself than anything else. So that can play with your eyes as well.
That's a very good point. Yeah, that just came up, that memory. Okay, so concepts for the left eye. Not saying what you feel, being fragmented and not concentrating on your needs, not relaxed when outflowing. What does outflowing mean?
Is that communication?
Okay.
Expressing?
Yep. Yeah, it might be that. Not seeing good in things and criticizing as though you are better. Not seeing the big picture. Closing yourself from seeing the future. Showing your weakness when outflowing.
So I want to say something about the big picture. So with the big picture, there might be a part of you that feels that the big picture isn't going to happen. And you're working hard to fulfill that goal or ambition or that big picture. And there's a part of you that believes that it's not going to happen. So that can play out too.
Yep.
It's like, I'm working really hard, doing everything I need to do, and there's nothing happening.
Yep.
It's just, I'm still stagnant and it's not good.
Yep.
Therefore, how is that going to help out with the big picture if you can't see results in the present moment? Even though we should be in the present moment. But for that concept, a part of you believes that the big picture isn't going to happen the way you would like it to happen.
Could that also be that they have maybe an old belief from past childhood, family member, something along those lines that has...
Past experiences that doesn't reinforce what you want to create.
Yeah. So they're unable to actually see that because a part of them is still thinking of the past.
So therefore it can't be created because you're still stuck in that old
way of thinking
and paradigm.
I'm going to use me as an example. I have a lot of things that happen with my left eye, but I do feel like I say what I feel.
You're pretty good at communicating.
I'm really good at communicating, being fragmented and not concentrating on your needs. No, I have learned, because I do have a lot of irritation and a lot of things that happen with my left eye, but that also could be connected to other things that happened energetically as well. But being fragmented and not concentrating on your needs, I have learned a lot on the way that I do need to focus on what it is that brings me joy. And even though we did speak about sometimes retail shopping is good, but obsessive retail shopping, you're going to need to look at what's inside. I give myself joy by buying art supplies. That brings me joy. So that's catering to my needs and my joy as well. Not relax when outflowing. That could be actually sitting here in the podcast room.
How do you mean?
Well, because, with me, my left shoulder, I tense up. I love the stuff that we do. I love everything about the energetics. I love the information that we receive from ourselves, and I love all the things that I have aha moments, but there's still a part of me that still tenses when I sit here and I talk.
Is that because you're not feeling safe?
In a way, I guess it's because I'm not feeling safe, because I'm not seeing physically with my eyes who's around, what's around. So there's still that part that still plays out sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we said not seeing the big picture. Another one is closing yourself from seeing the big picture.
Yeah. That's
an interesting one.
So choosing not to see?
Possibly.
Or fear of it not completing or achieving?
Maybe. So there's not seeing the big picture because, like you said before, that part of you doesn't see the big picture because of a trauma from the past. But then closing yourself from seeing the big picture could be maybe afraid of what the big picture could look like.
Because perhaps you've gone through this before where you've worked really hard to create something and the rug's been pulled underneath you, so therefore you don't want to put yourself through that again, even though you really would like that to happen and play out and be created. But because of the past trauma or something's happened in the past where you've been passionate and excited and it's happening on a level, and then all of a sudden something plays out where it gets all collapsed.
Yeah.
And we've had that. The reason why that's coming up, that experience, because we've had that happen a lot.
Yeah. I'm getting hurt. You put all this effort and all this energy into something and it doesn't work out, or the rug's being pulled out from you and you get hurt by it. So it's almost like a relationship. You've put all this energy into a relationship and the relationship didn't work out, and therefore...
So why bother?
You're a little bit more reserved and a bit more self-protective.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah, to do that again, to try again. And I guess it'll take some time to trust yourself to be able to do that again.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes closing yourself from that can happen too.
So you got to keep on just moving forward with that. And as much as you can, work through that.
Yeah.
And you're better off trying and going than not or stopping. And there's a saying out there, the moment you stop moving forward or trying or whatever it is that you want to create, the moment you stop that, that's the moment you failed.
How I see that, or how I say that to myself, is that when I leave this world, am I going to have regrets? Or am I going to leave this world going, I tried everything I could to do it? So I think of it that way. Never leave with any regrets.
And it comes down to experiences as well. How many amazing experiences did I have? What did I learn from that?
Yeah.
With those experiences, everything that I've learned has made me who I am today.
Yeah.
Without those experiences and all that sort of thing.
So it could be someone is thinking of creating a business or a YouTube channel or anything along those lines, something that's massively creative, or they need to take a leap in the next level of their business and they're really unsure and they're scared of getting bitten again. I look at it as, ask yourself, are you going to regret not making that change or creating that business or making that next step when you leave this world?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the failing in that part is not giving it a go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't work out, at least you can go, I gave it a go.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, give it a crack.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
You really don't. And that's the exciting part of it as well.
So that's the left eye. That was a lot. That was just the left eye. Okay. The right eye. Not liking the way you do things. You are being a perfectionist. Not doing things in time. Saying you cannot perform what needs to be done. Not outflowing what you know. Seeing what needs to be done, but you cannot see how to do it. Thinking that good things do not happen to me. Knowing your ability and not doing anything with it. That's an interesting one, the last one. So knowing that you can achieve something, but you actually just don't do it.
And that would come down to a fear.
Yeah. It'll just be, like we just discussed before, I've tried that before.
Yeah. It failed.
It failed. I don't know if I want to do that again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Watched interviews of billionaires and people have done really well in business, and they all say a lot of them being bankrupt 2 or 3 times and lost businesses, and without those experiences they wouldn't be where they are today. So it's like, well, if something doesn't work out, it's taught you that doesn't work out, so what do I need to do for the next time if I do it the next time for it to work out? Because you've already learnt what doesn't work, so now you're going to start to learn what does work.
Yep. What else is there? Seeing what needs to be done, but you cannot see how to do it. So is that in a way saying you know what needs to be done? Say, for example...
But you don't have any direction on how to do it?
Yeah, maybe.
You're not quite too sure.
Here's a good example. I can use weight loss as an example for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Weight loss for me. I have tried calorie counting, keto, exercising, like every single thing you could possibly think of. So therefore, I know that I needed to lose weight for a healthier lifestyle.
A healthier you.
A healthier, more...
Happier you.
Happier me. But I didn't know how to go about it. So that's an example. A lot of people out there, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've done this, I've done that. They know they need to make a step. They just don't know how to go about it.
So what you did is you started doing more research.
Exactly.
And that research, because you're now on fasting off and on, you've watched people about fasting and you've been inspired to do it another way, a different way.
Exactly.
And now you're getting results.
Yeah. So the moral of that story is, like you said, do your research, because you might come across a different way of approaching the situation.
Which you didn't think of.
Yeah.
And it's great to get inspiration from platforms or people, whatever it is. You go, oh, yes, I didn't think of that. Maybe that is going to help me create and attract or manifest what I want to do.
Yeah.
Through just having a different thought perception of that.
And having a different thought perception or a change in your thought can be the inspiration and excitement you need to try again. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just that little bit of inspiration, that little bit of light, that little bit of hope.
Yeah.
That could be the golden ticket, let's say,
Yeah.
to creating and stepping into success with what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Not giving up and going, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But your heart's like, but we want to do it.
There's
It's
something
in it.
Yeah.
And the ego's coming in, the brain's coming in. No, it's not going to work. No, that's when you go into your heart, your essence, your soul, who you really are, your true magnificence, and start to listen and start to research and get different perceptions for you to get that spark of awesome source back out to share. Because it could be something awesome that you need to share with the world.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm getting that inspiration that you might have found in your research. You might actually get other people reflecting that, giving you that information as well. So there's like a connection to what you're seeking, or not even seeking, the new solution that you're needing to find. Other people might also be reflecting that in the research that you've been doing.
That little piece of the puzzle that's been missing, it could turn up.
Exactly.
And that could be through just a different thought process, a little revelation or a little gold nugget that's just like, oh yes, that's the missing. Oh, I didn't see it before, but I opened up and I'm in a higher frequency, and I'm a lot more like, yes, I understand now. And just get that boof.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Taking it back to my body transformation, let's call it body transformation. I did the research because Jayson and I, we were at our wits' end. We had no idea what we needed to do. And I can't remember how I got on to fasting.
Because you've done that before.
I have done it before. And maybe it was a memory because I've done it before, or maybe it was because someone else had mentioned it. But because that was enough of a spark for even my mum to come in and say, well, I met an old friend from ages ago. He's eating bitter melon, and I did research on bitter melon, and it's great for this and great for that and great for lowering blood sugar levels. So even that is another tool that has come in to help me on that journey. Saying that, I've also had a little inner voice that would say, okay, you might need this. For example, as an example, I did do fasting, and my brain was a little, because I do customer service, I felt not my normal self because my brain was going through changes. So then I had a little inner voice me saying, okay, try this. Let's try this fat burner, because I knew that it helped with boosting the mood. So that was something to help me push forward. And then when I wanted to do, I was also try a 24-hour fast, so alternate day fasting, because all of a sudden this popped up for me. And on the morning that I was going to try 24 hours of fasting on YouTube, I all of a sudden had this video pop up to say, try using oil, because the point of fasting for me was not to raise blood sugar levels. Try using oil to push you to that next level, to get you past the point that you feel like you cannot get past. So again, I got some extra information on how to push to that next level. So with people trying to do weight loss, business, next step, you might get something, do your research, and then all of a sudden the matrix is going to come and give you information.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was really long.
But important.
Oh, I felt like I needed to share that.
It's all the same stuff, really. It's the same core. It's just different. For you, it's weight loss. For somebody else, it's a business. For somebody else, it's something else.
Yeah. I felt like that was very important to share, because it was an example of how the research I did and how I was supported along that research.
Mm-hmm.
That was that in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Ooh, under eye bags. Now, this is one that I definitely need to read for myself. Okay, under eye bags. Holding on to old concepts because you are not regrouping what you have done and learning from it all and then giving out that knowledge. When you give out your knowledge, you make it wisdom for yourself. Holding on to the concept of not sharing what you know because you are waiting for people to come to you and ask for what you know. And holding on to the concept of not sharing because others will know more than you.
Okay, let's just stop right there, because what are you doing now?
Well, that's what as I'm reading this, I'm thinking, well, that actually is not applying to me, because under eye bags could also be lack of sleep too.
Yeah, tiredness.
But
we're just going to talk about on this level.
Yeah.
But yeah, tiredness.
Yeah, it can be tiredness. It could also be other things like, you need to drink more water. And I do need to hydrate and, However, in this book, it might represent the fact that you're holding on to old concepts, holding on to knowledge, waiting for people to come to you to share it instead of freely sharing it when the opportunity arises. Well, we're doing that now.
And that was one of the foundations of starting this podcast.
Yes.
Was for you to express your wisdom, your knowledge, and your experiences.
Yes.
Before that, you struggled a lot to express that because there was no really anybody to express that to, so to speak, especially about some of the experiences.
Yeah.
People think you're going bloody nut.
I tried to do that on our other channel, AJ, but it wasn't really the place for this kind of topics. Yeah.
So we created this so we could both, but mainly you really need to express and share what you've learned along the way.
Yeah.
So therefore, the bags should just vanish.
Well, yes. Actually, you know what? I wonder if they will now, because I've just read that out. And I'm like, well, I am actually sharing my wisdom. So there is no reason for my eyes, my body, to hold on to whatever is going underneath my eyes.
Because you are expressing.
I am
you
expressing.
Are sharing.
I am sharing. Maybe I needed to read that so I would have the conscious awareness of that.
And that's the power of this work, is bringing what's underlining into the conscious awareness, into speaking it, feeling it, understanding it on this level. It's not hidden away anymore. It's brought to the surface. And that's part of the power and the magic of this work. As soon as you start going within and taking it out of you and put it in front of you, so to speak, that's when the healing can begin. And when I do cellular memory healing by pulling out pain from different parts of the body and bringing it out through colour and memory and trauma, just sometimes bringing it out and acknowledging it, I didn't realise that was associated to that. It can sometimes vanish. The pain, the symptom can just go.
Yeah.
It's been brought to the surface.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, reading this now, because I never had a conscious awareness of what under eye bags could be. But now I do. So with that conscious awareness, hopefully my body, my brain, and everything in my body can go, okay, we actually don't need to hold on to that now.
Yeah.
Because
we are sharing.
We are giving our gifts to everyone that's listening and watching. And there's no need to hold on to anything of our wisdom anymore.
So therefore, more flow would be happening.
There you go, buddy.
What's the next one?
Okay, what have I got here? You do have conjunctivitis.
Yeah, what does it say about that?
Okay. Stirred up emotions from seeing bad in things stops you from seeing the reality in things. Stirred up emotions. So seeing that could also be connected to what you just said before, seeing something that you don't like. Yeah. And that stops you from actually seeing the truth of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
say for example, you know, you see something on the news. You've seen it's having an effect on you. You don't like what you're seeing, but you don't know the full story of what's happened.
no, you don't.
Yeah.
It's like us putting a thing on a short. We did a CERN short because we talked about CERN, and then we did a short on it, and it went viral. And people were like in big hoo-ha. And it's like, but you only got a 60-second understanding of that. You didn't get the rest of what is going on.
Yeah, there's a whole podcast episode behind that.
So you just got this little bit of perception of what is, and that's what they do in the news. They just give you like the highlights of
the
snippet, but nobody really knows what the big picture is or the story is.
I'm getting the mushroom scenario that's happening at the moment.
Yes, people everywhere around the world will understand this. The mushroom scenario, the woman that fed mushrooms.
That has been accused of murder.
Yeah, and 3 people died and 1 ended up in hospital.
Yeah.
We are like, oh, how could she do that? But we actually don't know the full story.
No, we don't know the full story. And in a court case like that, you don't know who is telling the truth and who is lying, but you only see what is presented in front of you. You don't know the full story of it.
And that's the same as like when you're judging somebody because they've done something wrong. In your eyes, you actually don't know the full story.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is conjunctivitis. Okay. Grey or black underneath the eyes.
Grey or black?
Yeah.
What is that?
But that's still... It's saying not wanting to share your wisdom because you are afraid of what other people think of you.
Yeah, so not sharing the true you, because if a part of you feels like if I share the true me and what I understand and what I know, I'm going to be laughed at or I'm going to be criticised or judged.
Yeah, but that's nearly every single person. Well, okay, when I was younger, I was scared to show who I was. Not even younger. Let's just say I was scared to present, to talk out freely, or even present to people in an assignment because I was scared that I was going to be laughed at. For whatever reason, I don't know, but I was so terrified of speaking. Let's say it was an assignment and I had to talk in front of the class. I would be so terrified because I thought that people would laugh at me. Yeah.
They say that if you gave people speaking in public, if you said you've got to speak in public to a room full of people, or jump off a cliff, most people would jump off a cliff.
Really?
The fear of public speaking is massive.
But you know what? I was looking back at that part of myself when I was younger compared to now. We're not actually speaking in front of public, but we are speaking on a platform that will be shared publicly. And I feel that back then, as opposed to me now, the only difference is that I have wisdom of my own experiences to share.
Yeah.
Whereas back then, it was an assignment. So there is no actual experience of knowledge or knowledge of experience.
No, it's different, isn't it?
It's very different. And I think that's where the confidence comes in. Because back then it's like, well, people are going to laugh at me because they think I'm silly or stupid or something along those lines. Whereas now, I mean, people could still think I'm silly and stupid, but I have the experience, knowledge and know-how.
Yeah, and they do because they leave comments. And you're like, that's okay, mate. We understand.
Yeah, that's their perception.
Yeah.
But yeah, something along those lines. Okay. Moving on to the next page because, yes, tiredness. Here we go. Here's one for people.
And us.
Very much us.
Yeah.
Okay, so tiredness, there's a few points for tiredness. Not planning and running out of time. Being a perfectionist. Outflowing your wisdom without taking in new learning. Giving too much without learning from it. Doing something or not doing something that is going against the plan of your soul. Not wanting to do your direction so it is an escape. Not regrouping or summing up what you have learned, and not knowing how to communicate.
Okay. So nothing about doing a massive job,
Nothing about
running around like a lunatic,
No,
and
not
doing
right.
intensive labour and coming home being exhausted.
No, nothing about driving all day, every day, and your mental strain is just
Your mental energy's gone.
it's just at its peak. No, nothing. No, working in a position in your job where you're driving or running around in a large no, nothing.
So what I get from that, we've had many discussions on this, when you are in living your passion, living your dream, creating, let's say for example, we're working on stepping into what we are doing, we've got Infinite, we've got this, and we want to step into this full time, and you're living the dream, you've created the dream in your physical reality, and it's just really amazing. You would have more energy than not, because you're in your passion, you're creating and living how you want to live and what you want to create. As soon as you're outside of that and doing something that you don't want to do, that's where the energy isn't going to be, because it's not fulfilling you.
So that will be doing something or not doing something that is going against the plan of your soul or the plan of your feeling.
Because you're needing to do, say, a 3D job, what we call a 3D job, or a job for those out there wanting to
Just
3D.
a job, yeah.
And it's not your passion, and it's not what you want to do. So there's no topping up of energy. There's no inspiration to keep topping you up, and that love, that drive that keeps you moving and growing.
So inspiration is a key word here.
Loving what you're doing.
Yeah.
Unless you have a job where you do get paid from somebody and you just love it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is it. I just love this. Then you wouldn't come home tired and exhausted. You come home fueled, happy, excited. So there's a big difference there, and that's why a lot of people at their jobs are always tired, because at the end of the day, you need to earn something, money, to be able to pay for your lifestyle.
So then that ties into pretty much what they're saying is giving too much of your energy and feeling like there's not an equal exchange in return. So that can be with any job where you feel like you're giving too much of your energy. Even if you're a manager, you could be working what you feel like 100 hours a week, and you feel like you're not actually getting the equal exchange in return.
And being a manager, the expectation of you to perform and do long hours and give yourself everything of yourself is stupidity.
Yeah. So, yeah, that can be. And also not being able to regroup. Like, introverts are very good at that. As an introvert, you give what you need to give, but then it gets to a point where you're like, you know what? I need to step back. Introverts know when they need to regroup and when they need to recharge their own batteries.
Yeah, because introverts need to go within themselves or be in a quiet space to recharge.
Yeah.
Where an extrovert needs people around so they can recharge from.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is not regrouping or summing up what you have learned.
That's a big one, the tiredness one.
Yeah, because we work through a lot of the tiredness one. Like, for example, yesterday I gave you a massage.
Yeah.
And I was really tired from that. And I said to Jayson, I was really tired, but we also had a healing.
Oh, yeah, I did a healing.
We did a
filming.
Yeah.
Healing demo.
But I was really tired afterwards, and I didn't realize how tired I was because I gave so much energy in the massage. But I said that's okay because I know that I will top myself up later on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep unconscious pretty much. I was done, everyone. I was completely done.
Yeah, you were. So yeah, tiredness is a big one for a lot of people. Okay, so arthritis?
Yeah, it's all about arthritis.
Okay. Oh, mosquito bites. Definitely. Okay, for arthritis and rheumatoid, I think is how you pronounce it, which is inflamed tissue, tendons, ligaments, red shiny skin over joints, and as for osteo. Immune system needs peace to stop viral infections affecting these parts. Being inflexible and not in control can stop your peace within. So to me, inflamed can also represent anger and frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a client years ago that she had bad arthritis in her knees, and she was just working 7 days a week, and she didn't have any time for her, and she was a person that gave a lot. So from reading that, that'd be like not enough time for her, always doing for others, and there's this internal frustration, anger playing out, and it's just hit her knees.
Which is all about movement and flexibility as well.
And I was taught like the knees can also be connected to the heart. And also it can do with humility as well.
Okay.
So that plays into that as well. So it's amazing how it's like the soul, the essence of that deep part of the person really needs to just start to take care and honour and stop trying to do everything for everyone and doing more for self. And I know I don't know why, but I'm getting breast cancer. It's breast cancer. My understanding of breast cancer is if you are giving and nurturing everybody else and not doing the same for you. So that's a really big one for women out there. So it's like they're just giving, nurturing, doing everything, but what they're giving outside of themselves, they need to do that for themselves. So therefore there must be some sort of worthiness coming up for that, to needing to do that for self. And instead can't, for whatever reasons and trauma, happy to do that for others.
Okay. So bites, mosquitoes, midgets? No, surely it's not midgets.
Is that midget mosquito?
It's spelled midges, so it can't be midgets.
Is that still under the mosquito?
Gnats and fleas. Okay. A reoccurring problem, which is an itch, of being inadequate or unworthy, which is the skin. Take note of where you are bitten. The bite is for you to love yourself more in some way, because these insects suck your blood out, therefore you are losing your love. Then you can let an ailment into your blood such as dengue, I think that's how you pronounce it, malaria, and Ross River fever and yellow fever if you are not loving yourself. Whoa.
And it's really interesting because when you're reading that out, we go outside and you all of a sudden been out there for 10 seconds, you're getting eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So let's look at this. I need to look at this because I always thought that, especially for me, from my own experience, when I was doing keto, I wasn't bitten. I noticed I wasn't bitten because I didn't have, my blood sugars weren't high with a lot of sugar in it.
I've got maybe something for you with that.
Oh, okay.
So perhaps when you were doing that and you were losing weight, you were feeling good about yourself. Oh. You were honouring yourself. Your body or everything was like, oh, she's actually starting to learn and take care and love herself. Oh. Therefore, the frequency was completely different where the mosquitoes couldn't go near it.
That's a good point, because if you look at it from, let's say, from a blood sugar level, sweetness technically represents love. Give me some sweetness, give me some sugar, give me some love. Yeah. However, in that way, for me, having too much sugar in my system was the opposite of loving myself. So when I was actually being more healthier, more losing weight, I was happier. I was actually loving myself more. Because this is a really interesting, you could say, conundrum for people where they believe that having sugar and sweet things is giving themselves love. But in actual fact, it might not be. Yeah. It's feeding the brain love.
Well,
the emotional love, but not necessarily feeding the body love.
Yeah, it's because it's going outside of self to fill up one's cup through going outside.
So it'd be really interesting now with the mosquitoes, with the fasting.
Well, it depends on how good you are feeling. Really, it's not about the weight per se. It's about you loving you and accepting you.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, there you go. The itch is the problem, feeling inadequate, and or unworthy, which is the skin.
Not feeling enough.
Not feeling enough and not loving yourself enough. And wherever you get bitten, that is where you need to love yourself more, because the insects are taking out your love. And so therefore, it's almost like saying they're taking out love. So therefore there's a hole or there's a place for illness to come through. So realistically, in a way, love yourself so nothing can harm you.
Yeah, because love is a higher frequency.
Yeah, love yourself enough to not allow anything to harm you. And that doesn't necessarily have to be insects. That could just be words being spoken to you. Yeah.
And words to yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is probably more damaging than words outside of you.
Well, yeah, because that's what you're telling yourself.
Exactly.
That was a really good one to have an understanding. Do you want to do body odor?
Yeah, let's do body odor.
Okay. So we're only just picked out a few of things in here. There is so much more in this book that we highly recommend. If you can get your hands on this book, it is a gold find. Yeah. Or a gold mine. Which one is it? Gold find or gold mine?
Well, you can find gold or you can mine for gold.
Well, that's a good point. So it's both. Yeah. Okay, for body odor. It is offensive to you and others when you are not in your true feelings. When you are fearful of anything such as public speaking, not many people do not go into a cold sweat when facing a sea of people, but it is not you. It is some limitation that you have been taught into your intellect and you do not need it. The need for deodorant when doing a sport is because you are competing, which takes you out of your feelings. If you could simply play for yourself to improve your capabilities, you would not need to be in your feelings. Okay, so I get the competition thing. It's saying that when you're playing sport, you're actually competing against another person. You're not it's pretty much saying it's like you're going up against someone. It's not a natural thing. Yeah, by competing. So therefore that's why you need body deodorant, because you're competing. You're not in harmony with the other person.
Also, you look at it as maybe back in another time frame, back in the past, a long time ago, you were competing for food.
Yeah.
Competing for survival.
Yeah, that too.
Fighting against the elements. Competing against the elements to survive. So that might bring up that base instinct of a human being with that. And my understanding also with body odor is I know when I'm in some sort of fear or stress, the body odor is stronger than not.
Yeah, it does say when you're fearful.
And when I'm doing example, when I was working for a large company for a bunch of CEOs doing healings for the company, and I was doing healing work for the staff, the CEO could not believe how I never smelled. He said, because he was very clever and knowing a lot of things, and he was astounded that I never was in fear when I'm doing my healing work, or I had strong odor. I had zero odor. I said, because I was in flow, harmony, joy, and healing vibration. I was in the flow of all that there was. So therefore, there was no need for that. If I was in complete fear of that, then that would be different. See how that plays out? Because I wasn't competitive or competing. I was in the healing vibration of helping another.
Okay, so can I use me as an example? Not a lot, but some of my fear comes from the energies around, what I perceive to be threatening.
Yep.
And I know with me, I can get really tense and really tight, and this might be a bit too much information, but sometimes I do struggle going to the toilet because I'm in so much fear. But I don't smell.
Well, because you operate differently.
Okay.
So your reaction, your fear comes out through you differently.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. Because, And then it is offensive to you and others when you are not in your true feelings. That for me is saying that when you're not expressing yourself truly, you can create body odor.
Yeah, it comes out through the body in that way.
Yeah, a bit like fear, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't express what you're scared of, then it can come out through body odor.
Yeah, possibly.
Mm.
Everybody's different.
Mm.
Yeah, interesting one.
Mm. Do you want to see if they got anything to share in part 2?
Okay, everything's just reassembling.
Oh, is everyone getting their seats again?
Because it was like all of a sudden...
It just stopped.
Yeah.
Is everyone gathering? I wonder if everyone's sitting back and they're like, okay, they're back on.
Yeah. Sorry about the camera, everyone. It is amazing how having fear in your body can produce a different level of hormones and scents and smells, revealing that you are not in your true self. In a way, hiding your true self, your true selves. But fear at times is necessary to take you out of certain situations which are not beneficial for you. This comes down also to fight or flight. At times you need to take yourself out of experiences which are not there to serve you in many ways. It has been a very delightful podcast, sharing to all of us another perception, another outlook on what is going on within. It is these perceptions which are very helpful indeed to help support you all going within and stop going outside of self to fix up and resolve the problems, the traumas within you. And to this person that's written this literature, we thank them immensely for sharing this with the world. And we feel this was not an easy task for this writer to do so. Her herself had to do a lot of inner work, understanding and gain a lot of wisdom and knowledge over a time frame to be able to share this. So we thank you to her for sharing this with the world. It is amazing how many of you out there have gifts and talents and specialty tools to share with each other, and how important it is to share this with each other. This is how you grow and evolve together. This is how the human race moves forward, by sharing this beautiful knowledge and wisdom, love and harmony with each other, the connectedness that you all have together when you share, especially sharing stories with each other. It's quite a beautiful thing to be part of and watch and listen to. We are always very happy and delighted being here, sharing our perceptions, our understandings and our wisdom with you all. It is a great privilege for us to be here always, and we always thank you for inviting us back week after week after week. Would you like to ask us any questions, Alison?
Yes. When you said about fear and how the body can change its chemistry, is that similar to, let's say, I don't know if this is a really good example, or it's a good example, but it's a little bit when, say for example, animals, like a predator after another animal, there's a fear pheromone, like the pheromones change and the predator is able to pick up on that fear. I don't know if that's a question.
No, we understand where you are coming from with this. So yes, the predators, say out in the forest, the bush, they will pick up on fear pheromones, fear hormones, to know that when that animal, say another animal, is in that fear, that indicates to them that they are a weaker species and can be easily, let's say, eaten or taken. It's a lack of power or a lack of being in one's powerful space. Yet, with saying all this, it's not always as easy as that saying that. But when you are in a place of peace and harmony in that particular scenario and there is no fear around you, you will find that that predator or that bigger animal will not want anything to do with you. Yet it is a very important thing to have on a level, because it lets you know that something is not right and perhaps you need to leave that space. Perhaps you need to rebalance and recenter yourself so you do not attract that experience or those experiences. Yet it comes to a place within you where you will get triggered. It does not mean you have to be chased down by a T-Rex. It could be simply that you are going for a job interview and you are in a state of fear of not being accepted in that interview, or being rejected or judged that you are not enough for that position within that company. And again, the interviewer or the company, if they can sense, which all of you do, sense that fear with another, that then lessens your personal power. So therefore, that perception of them hiring you might not go the way you would like to go. So stay in your personal power as much as you can and know that you are worthy, know that you are enough when it comes to that particular circumstance. Are we making sense at all?
Absolutely. So it really comes back down to what this book is explaining to everyone is that everyone has a personal power that they need to reclaim, and this book is actually going to help them do that.
Yes, indeed. It is a magnificent book for people who are starting on the journey of going within, and especially those who are even healers that would like to learn more about how to help the people that they are supporting and helping with energetic healing work, or even down to doctors learning this work and going a lot deeper within their patients to understand there's more going on than what is perceived through the physical body. Because again, as we've said before, the physical body, your internalness, your essence, your soul, are talking to you always to help re-harmonize and realign so you can work at your best efficiency and do what you are needing to do. This helpful?
Very helpful thing. Don't think I have any other questions, unless Jayson has a question that you guys know that...
No, I can't think of anything. I never really do.
Okay. No, I think we're actually really good, unless there's any other information that you would like to pass on to everyone.
The only thing we can say further is to start reclaiming back your power, knowing that you have more than enough wisdom and knowledge within you that you need to tap back into and awaken, and gather tools along the way to help you activate and learn the deeper aspect of you. We will always say you are magnificent beings. We would like to see more of you step more into your personal powers, your magic, and be the best versions of you possible. And the first step is learn to step out of fear as much as you can and stay as aligned as you can, even though that life is and can be very challenging. But knowing that you are part of, or a character in this big game arena, and knowing that you can all get through this. That's all we have to say for today.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Yeah, so doing the shutdown stuff, it just took everything a bit to get back into the flow again.
Yeah. And I didn't really have many questions because this is part 2. So I feel like I asked as many questions as I could in part 1 when it comes to this book and comes to self-empowerment.
And that was enough. That was plenty. There wasn't...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah. So the camera did shut down, everyone. We had to take about a 10-minute break. And because the camera shut down, it was kind of like a forced intermission, not only for us, but for everyone else that was watching on an energetic level.
Yep. So we had to throw the camera into the fridge, cool it down quickly.
And then everyone had to like grab their seats again and pretty much. Yeah. That's how I perceive it.
Well, let's say goodbye.
Yes. Thank you everyone for tuning in into part 4 of The Body is the Barometer of the Soul. And the author is Annette Noontil. We hope that you got some really awesome insight into how you can actually change your own thoughts, which will actually help change your health and your reality as well.
It's been good. Really enjoyed it. Well, thank you for watching, tuning in, listening. We'll see you. You'll hear us in the next one. Bye. Love and blessings, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.